Welcome back to BaldHeaded Metal, guys. Welcome back to another reaction. We're doing the second single from the new Behemoth album with their song Off To War. Now, those who checked out my previous reaction saw I enjoyed the last song, but I wasn't exactly blown away by it. I was expecting something a little bit more, and I've stated that I am a newer fan of the band. I like their later stuff more, with The Satanist probably my favorite album from this band so far. Let's see what the second single has to offer, because Nurgle, I just like his creative energy that he has with his band and the direction he's been taking Behemoth. Even if I don't like all the songs, I just like the general direction. Those who are new to this channel, I express myself 100%. If I don't like something, you're going to know it. I try to do it respectfully, more in the spirit of conversation and analysis of how I feel, rather than crapping on the artist, so we can have an interesting conversation. Let's get into it and see what we got. Yeah, I right away like this a lot more. I love the groove of this right from the beginning. This is one of those songs that just gets me right from the beginning. And something I was thinking about actually with this song in my previous reaction that I never mentioned, the parallel I always seen with Behemoth is the same parallel I saw with Bathory, with their beginning albums, how they were a lot more black metal and heavy. As Quarathon kind of developed the band with Twilight of the Gods, it became this kind of melodic variation of itself. And that Behemoth also has this kind of progression where, as the time went on, being the hardest hitting band wasn't the most important, as there was a certain creativity within, I guess, Nurgle as being writer to express himself in different kinds of ways. And I really like this. Yeah, I think my only critique right now would be of this song is that I like the direction, I like the sound, I like the songwriting. I have to agree, there was the first comment down in the video saying that this is good stuff and it's better than the first single, which I agree with. But you kind of missed a more hard-hitting edge, or even in The Satanist, where it was really heavy and dark and like that occult thing that Behemoth is known for. And I mean, it's not the definitive answer that it's not going to have this on the new album. Perhaps these couple songs are just exploring different sides of him. But I would like to get some of those more hard-hitting songs with a hard-hitting sound, because this does sound a lot more mild in comparison to the other stuff. Thankfully that it's done well, so at the very least, even if the whole album was like this, I'll still be on board. Perhaps maybe not my favorite, but I'll still enjoy it. I always found this interesting too. Is like as I'm watching this and thinking about it, what is it about bands as time goes by and they get older that their perspective shifts? And I mean, it's to me it seems like an 80%, 20%. 80% of bands switch their sound to something that's more melodic, something that's softer in tone, not as harsh as they were before, unless you like Exodus or Overkill, who just kept the same harsh sound throughout. Uh, a lot of bands just kind of have to have this rediscovery of doing something different, and sometimes pushes fans away. With something like Megadeth, for example, he wants to go on the lighter side of music. And I gotta be honest, so I think last couple albums from Megadeth, yes, maybe they're not the classic that Peace Sells was, but they're still good music. It's just not the sound that one I hear from a Megadeth. But that's what Dave Mustaine kind of wanted to follow. I always thought it was an interesting kind of thing to think about. Surprising not to have an actual video from Behemoth, and the fact that the first video to me was kind of eh. I always love their music videos. Otherwise, they always have interesting visual imagery. I'll put it this way: it's better than the first single. It's a very groovy, I should say, groovy song. It has interesting kind of concepts. A little bit on the simpler side because it essentially replays the same bridge and chorus with a solo kind of stuck in the middle. Very classic kind of format for the song. In terms of like guitar skills, you don't really see the guitar skills as you typically would see in a Behemoth song. And Inferno's drumming, like the guy's a fucking monster, and you really don't get a lot of that here. It seems like the vision for the sound and the mood was above the technicality that we're come to use, so come to hear from Behemoth. So it'll be interesting, kind of the direction of the album. It seems like it's going to be a tamer album, perhaps a more emotional album for Nergal, because I know the Satanist was, and specifically the song "Oh Satan, Oh Son, Oh Father." That song reminded me so much of Battery. But overall, I think it's good. It could just be an interesting project in the band's discography that won't be like anything else. Let's put it that way. I would love to hear from some fans, though, what you particularly think about this song and how you felt about listening to it. If you're just excited for it, you don't care how the sound changes, or you kind of miss the older sound. And guys, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe out there, and most of all, keep it metal.